QEREQERETABUA. We love Today FM. Today FM rocks.
Today's hit music on Today FM.
In this bulletin, Parliament Secretariat seeks legal advice. Fiji Airways future uncertain, says Minister. And trial date set for alleged partner killer.
From the studios of FBC Suva, Ateda Lendua.
Following the suspension of the Social Democratic Liberal Party yesterday, the Parliament Secretariat sought legal advice on what actions will be required. Speaker of Parliament RUGBY highlighted there are 4 clear actions regarding the suspended SEDELPA members who occupy 21 seats in the opposition ranks.
The suspension of the registration of a political party has the effect of suspending that political party and all its members from all Parliament sittings, including from all committees of Parliament. 2, this means that any such suspended political party and all its members cannot participate in Parliament or in any of the committees of Parliament.
In addition, during the 60-day suspension period, all members of the SEDELPA party, including their caucus staff, are not permitted access to the parliamentary premises. SEDELPA suspension will be reviewed once their party status is determined by the Registrar of Political Parties. Fiji Airways will need to implement a lot of operational changes once the COVID-19 restrictions ease and flights resume. Civil Aviation Minister Ayaz Said Qayyum hopes the government guarantee to Fiji Airways by borrowing of $455 million will help the airline meet its obligations into next year. Syed Qayyum says at this stage they cannot say for certain what the new operational features will be, as they depend on what the health authorities will decide. He says they are discussing their next course of action. Syed Qayyum says there will be a new norm when flights resume.
The way we fly the crew, their training will need to completely change now. Now there's discussions that masks will now be a feature of your uniform. The actual mask may have your uniform colors. That's what some airlines are already talking. In fact, Fiji Airways is discussing those kinds of issues already. How you check in, when you check in, how long before you fly you check in. Number of the standard operating procedures will all change.
Rates owed to all municipal councils as of December 2018 stood at over $48 million. Local Government Minister Pramila Kumar says they continue to face challenges in the collection of rates. Kumar says from January to April this year, the councils have managed to collect $1.96 million in arrears, and the overdue rates now stand at $42.4 million. Last year, 2 amnesty periods were given to residential ratepayers to help them clear their dues.
By providing rates amnesty to residential ratepayers, a sum of $5.5 million was recovered, bringing down the total arrears to $44.3 million, including the interest at the end of December 2019.
The minister says this year the Suva City Council's rate collection is the highest, as they've collected $13.8 million from a total invoiced sum of $15.7 million. Over 680 businesses have been issued licenses under the Fijian Made by Fijian campaign since its inception in 2011. Minister for Trade Fayaz Koya says 3,482 products are registered under the campaign, and the latest inclusion is Fijian organic. 69% of the total businesses registered are micro, small and medium enterprises, and 53% are Fijian crafted licenses. Under this, the ministry provides market access and opportunity to ordinary Fijians, particularly women and those in the rural and maritime areas.
The campaign helps to reduce our rising import bills and the country's negative balance of payment position over the years, which is more so important now we've started our recovery phase.
The economy minister has revealed that about $276 million was withdrawn from the Fiji National Provident Fund post-tropical cyclone Winston in 2016. While responding to a question posed by opposition MP LENORA QEREQERETABUA on the government's plan to replenish the funds already withdrawn by 180,000 FNPF members after TC Winston, Said Qayyum clarified the members themselves can rebuild the fund. Said Qayyum says the damage sustained in most sectors from the cyclone forces them to embark on various projects to normalize things.
We embarked on what we call the Help for Homes program, in which we essentially funded $127.8 million of rebuilding of homes. We spent $234.5 million in rehabilitating schools, social welfare top-up of $20.2 million, other rehabilitation from the economic social sectors, $97.6 million, which was total government funding of about $480 million, plus the FNPF payout of $275 million. Then, of course, the insurance companies also paid out about $189.4 million. So, Mr. Speaker, sir, that was the level of injection that took place into the economy.
Since 2014, the government has spent over $50,000 setting up and refurbishing evacuation centres. Disaster Management Minister Inieser Ratu says the demand to temporarily occupy evacuation centres has increased due to the recurring natural disasters in the recent years. He says the recent tropical cyclone Harold left a scar on many in the western, southern, central and eastern divisions.
The national and divisional coordination was focused on the provision of life-saving assistance and the restoration of essential services, including the repair of community infrastructure destroyed or damaged by the cyclone, such as roads, airstrips, marketplaces, electricity, communications, water supply, and so on.
The trial of a 28-year-old man alleged to have murdered his pregnant de facto partner in June last year has been fixed for March 2021. Mosese Singambalavu's bail application was denied by the High Court today. The High Court ruled that the summary by the prosecution is too strong and bail will not be granted. Singambalavu allegedly assaulted his 3 months pregnant partner last June in Nasese Suva. It's alleged he was drunk at the time of the incident. He is charged with 1 count of murder. The case has been adjourned to the 19th of next month. Up ahead, more support needed for minor sports, says MP. And FNRL sets tentative kickoff date.
Bulla FM, number 2 NSR.
Bulla FM, number 2 NSR.
The government provided a total of $3.5 million for Team Fiji's to prepare for the Tokyo 2020 Olympics. This was highlighted by Minister for Youth and Sports PARVEEN in Parliament. Kumar says minor sports were also assisted through the funds after opposition member LENORA QEREQERETABUA raised a concern on the lack of funding for minor sports like boxing.
Boxing, as you know, Honourable Speaker, has represented Fiji very proudly at the Olympics in Rio, and this is one of the sports that really needs some financing.
And from this total budget, Mr. Speaker said, around 3.1 million was distributed to the individual sporting bodies as preparation cost. I really don't know where Honourable QEREQERETABUA is getting her views on the assistance.
The Fiji National Rugby League is planning to resume local competitions by July 18th. Acting Chief Executive Don Natambe says they're planning to hold the competitions over the next 2 months with the hope that the COVID-19 restrictions will be eased. Natambe says a tentative date has been set only for the Vodafone Cup and no decisions has been made on the Fiji Secondary School Rugby League competition.
For the clubland July 18th was the date that we set, and we're working towards that. Any changes to that date will be announced soon.
With talks underway for a test match between the FUIANA 15 and the Australian WALLAROOS, the Fiji National Sports Commission is optimistic that all sporting events will return later in the year. The Fiji Rugby Union is in discussions with Rugby Australia to have this test match in October or November. Sports Commission Chair Peter MAZEY says with the test window for international matches scheduled for June and July, they will have to wait for the directive from the government to see whether this test matches and other international test matches will go ahead.
All the test series were postponed. We're hoping that later in the year they'll come back online. But we still need that test window to conduct international tests, and that was generally in the June-July period. So we'll just have to wait and see.
Another test match that has been postponed include the Flying Fijians and the Wallabies test match that was scheduled to be played in Australia in July. World Rugby's proposal to get rid of scrum resets has been dismissed as ridiculous by an All Black who says you might as well play touch rugby. It's one of a number of ideas put forward by the governing body's medical group looking at ways to limit the spread of COVID-19 when rugby returns. Expect mostly clear weather this afternoon with a chance of light showers in the eastern areas overnight. And that's your FBC News now. Join us again at 7 p.m. for our major bulletin. In times of crisis, you need news you can trust. Fight fake news by getting the facts about the coronavirus from verified news sources like FBC's TV, radio and digital media news, www.fbcnews.com.fj, keeping Fijians connected with the truth. Enjoy your lunch.
Bula FM, number 2 NSR.
Bula FM, number 2 NSR.